We've been talking about benchmarking your school's energy performance in Energy Star's Portfolio Manager, and we're on step 3. And we're going to talk about how to enter the information and data about your school facility into your Portfolio Manager account. There are 3 kinds of data that you can enter: your space attributes data, your energy use data, and your water use data, which happens to be optional. The 2 that you mainly need are the space attributes and the energy use. That's what you need for your score. Now, the space attributes we covered in a previous presentation. There are 8 of them. 3 of them relate to floor area. Gross floor area is one of the attributes you need, and information on the amount of square footage or percent of square footage that's heated and air conditioned. Then there are space attributes that you can get just by observation or asking people questions. And that's these 5 here. We showed you how you can make up a checklist and use that to go through and get the information that you need. Next is the energy use data. And there are 2 types of those. One is monthly bills, such as electricity and natural gas, and the other is delivery bills, or those that are provided when a truck pulls up and delivers that type of fuel. Now, for the monthly bills, you need the start and the end dates and the total amount used. So you're sitting here with your stack of electricity bills. You need at least 12 months of those. Then you look at the bill to find the start and end dates of the billing period. But sometimes all they're going to give you is a read date, a single date. That will actually be the end date for that billing period. The start date will be the read date of the previous bill. And this end date becomes the start date of next month's bill. You look for the kWh used, and you also record the total charge. Now, for natural gas, again, you need 12 contiguous months. You're going to look to find the CCFs, which is the 100 cubic feet used, or they may list it in terms of therms. You can use either one of those. Again, you're going to look for a read date, most typically going to be a single date that you'll find on the bill. Now, when it comes to the delivered fuels, you want the delivery date and the total amount delivered. You don't have to worry about how much was actually used, only what was delivered. And a typical bill will have this kind of information on it, so you should be able to get the information you need. And one more time, I want to highly encourage you to add in the cost information. I noted earlier that the cost information is not required for a score, but we want to show you some really valuable information that you can get from Portfolio Manager if you add in your cost information. So please remember to add it. Okay, now let's go to EnergyStar.gov and see what this looks like in your Portfolio Manager account. So here we are in our Portfolio Manager account, and we're going to scroll down to our facility. Now, in a previous presentation, we showed you how to set up your school in Portfolio Manager. We're going to click on our school name, and here we are at the school facility page. And in another previous presentation, we showed you how to set up your page by setting up your school as a space, and we call it a K-12 school space. And also we set up our electric meter. So in this presentation, we're going to enter the data for the space attributes, and we're going to enter the energy use data into the electric meter. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to go first to our K-12 school space link. Click on that. and it's going to take us to our space attributes page. Scroll down here and you can see all 8 space attributes. So after measuring our school, we found that the actual gross floor area is 51,600. So now we're going to come over to the edit link, click on that, and it's going to let us edit that number. So we come over here, we're going to take out the 50,000 and put in the 51,600. Now, one thing important that we have to do before we leave this page. Portfolio Manager lets you update information or it lets you correct information, but it doesn't know which one you're doing when you're entering the information. So you have to let it know. In this case, we are correcting the information. So we're going to click on correct because we didn't have the right amount. And we're going to do the same for all the other attributes since we use default values. Okay. Looks like we have all our space attributes entered and we're ready to go on to the next step. So we'll scroll back up to the top and find our Save button and click it. And we're returned back to our school facility page. So we're going to scroll back down, and this time we are going to find the first, our only energy meter, and click on that. Now we have no meter entries in there. We just set up the meter. So now we're going to go over here and add meter entries. We'll click on that button. So the first thing it asks is how many months are we going to enter? Well, we know we need at least 12 to get a score, so that's how many bills we have. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to put 12 months. But if you have more bills, you certainly put that number of months there. Okay, now the start date of the first monthly bill. That's what we need to enter in here first. Okay, according to my research, that would be June 20th, 2011. And this is an electricity meter, and the units are in kWh. So now we're going to continue. Now it shows us a bunch of boxes wherein we can enter the data. So I'm just going to scroll down here and enter all the information for each of these months. Now, one of the first things I notice is that it has already populated the start and end dates. But I have start and end dates that are different than those showing. Being the perfectionist that I am, I want to make sure I put the exact dates in here. And I'm going to continue on this until I finish entering all the data on this page. Okay, I have all the information entered. That took me about 5 minutes because I had it already in a spreadsheet. But if you're just taking it from the bills, it's probably not going to take you more than 10 minutes tops. One of the things that I want to show you as a way of making sure your information is correct. In Portfolio Manager, for your monthly bills, which is your electric bills and your natural gas bills, you can't have any gaps between your end date and your start date from month to month. So in this case, our end date was July 21st, and the beginning date for the next month was July 22nd. It's okay to have July 21st, the same date as the previous end date or previous month's end date, but it can't be any more of an overlap. It can't be like the 20th or earlier, and it can't be any later than the 22nd. It can't be like the 23rd, because then you have a 1 day missing. Okay, so it has to be all together. The whole period has to be covered by these dates. So now we're going to go over and save. Okay, here we are back at our school facility page for Greenway School. And now we can see what our score is and how we compare to other schools in the nation. So we're going to look over to the right of the page and we see our current rating is 27. That doesn't sound very good. Well, I've got some terrific ideas to share with you about that in our next video on understanding your score. And that concludes our presentation on benchmarking your school's energy performance in Energy Star's Portfolio Manager, particularly entering your energy use and your space attribute information about your school into your Portfolio Manager account.